Everybody, welcome to Bearded Becker Banter, the sports podcast. And today we technically become the unofficial official Orioles podcast.
Play ball.
But there is still a big dog sport that we got to talk about here, and that is the Sweet 16. So what we're going to do here is we're going to jump into a little recap from one of the greatest weekends of all time each year. And that is the first weekend of March Madness, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday and Friday obviously trump the weekend a little bit because games are full go. So we're going to do a little recap, and then we'll get into some Sweet 16 picks, and then we'll just touch on baseball just a tiny bit. But welcome, Trent. Welcome, Trey.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hey, baby.
Whew, I'll tell you what, I think I'm finally recovered. You know, not from any sort of like alcohol hangover, but like the Monday, Tuesday after like literally like just watching game after game, even the Saturday and Sunday, like all the time goes by just waiting for the next game to tip off.
Yeah.
And like, and then you get to Monday and you're like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
shit, you know, but
Yeah, I gotta say, even like Sunday evening, I kind of crept in. I was like, man, I'm cherishing these last couple games, and it was tough, man. Going to work, school,
Yeah.
hard to focus.
It's there's nothing like that Thursday, Friday, because I mean, even like that Saturday, Sunday, it's like, okay, like one game, 2 hours go by, another game, 2 hours go by, two more games. You know what I mean? Like it's not like those first 2 days.
Yeah.
They got to do something about how they spread those out. You're right, Tyler, because they had a lot of the games are after like 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Like half of them.
Yeah.
It's like, man, especially on Sunday, I want to watch them all, but it's hard to stay up that late.
Yeah, that is a little frustrating. But so let's quickly get into a little bit of recap here of quite a weekend. Kind of a chalky weekend for the most part, but still quite a weekend nevertheless. Trent, you said you had some, kind of things you wanted to bring up, in terms of some games and what you saw.
Yeah, I kind of look at it this way: like, what was it that happened that you're kind of like, okay, that was as expected. What team was a letdown, or what was a letdown for you? Maybe it's something just entire tournament wise. And then, is there a team or something that truly surprised you? Like, was it a highlight or just an upset, or you didn't see that game going that way? I don't know, but
yeah, that's fair. I mean, if you don't mind, I'll start with kind of something I really just saw coming, and I think that goes back to the phrase "Duke is Duke." Duke is just kind of steamrolling through teams. I know they let Baylor hang around a little bit in the second round, but for the most part, I mean, Duke ended up just running away with it.
Yeah.
I'll be interested, and I know we'll get into picks and stuff, but I am interested in the Arizona game. I think while it looks like a 1-4, I don't think there's too much concern there. But that's really kind of the thing that I expected to happen, and it really did happen.
So is he like being legit, Trey, or is he like truly like sour trying to reverse strike?
This whole time I was trying to get a feel. I can't tell if it's genuine or if this is like.
Yeah.
Well, let's start here, and I'll explain why it's genuine, because in my 64 team draft, Duke was my first overall pick. So if Duke wins it, I win a very good amount of money.
Yeah, that's like an Occam Razors situation that I like doing a lot, Tyler, is like betting on a team that you don't like. Occam's Razor. I think that's the right phrase in comparison. Yeah, it's what you do is you're betting on a team you hate, because if that happens, then at least you get something positive out of it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even as here's, you got to understand. Even as a Tar Heel fan, all right, I respect ACC basketball. I respect good basketball. So Duke wins it. You know what? Even as a Tar Heel fan, it is what it is, man. I don't sit there. I would argue that I probably hate John Calipari teams even way more than I hate Duke teams. Just and I would also make the argument that I hate Bill Self team more than I hate a Duke team.
Oh, I hate Bill Self.
So that's I don't know. That's how I feel. But
Do you feel how Tyler Hansborough feels? See his take today?
You mean, no, I didn't. But you mean when he was winning a national championship in 2009?
No, his take today on his Carolina podcast is if Caleb Love and Arizona are able to knock out Duke, that they should retire Caleb Love's Arizona jersey in the Carolina. Is that where Carolina's at this point?
That's kind of stupidest take. That is the
retire whose Arizona jersey? Like where at?
Caleb Love's at Carolina.
Arizona jersey?
Oh, dude. Carolina Twitter,
That's
X
ridiculous.
Is very like, all right, guys, we got a chance. And it's like, what do you mean you got a chance? He's been a Arizona Wildcat for 2 years. You ran him out of town, just like you're doing to Elliot Cadeau. Like, what are you thinking? Like,
yeah, that's loser mentality.
It's a bad take.
It was a very bad take, but all right. My as expected is real simple. Is just I kind of, when I filled out my bracket this year, I sometimes am very guilty about when I look at the later rounds about having too much chalk. And I know it's like not exciting. And I know Jay Williams caught a lot of shit for having extreme chalk in his bracket. But in reality now, it's like those people with chalk are probably at the top of your bracket pools. So to me, I was not surprised to see all the 1 seeds here present in the first or in the second weekend and out of the first weekend. So that's all I'm going with.
Murray present. Sorry, Flight of the Conchords reference. Trey, what did you expect?
I got 2 things, and it's the two top brackets and the 6 seeds. BYU, I think we knew from the start. I think we were all kind of on that for the most part and had them advance into the second weekend. The other one, though, is I think I was the only one that was on it. That's Ole Miss, fellas. I think that they look sharp right now. I think Chris Beard has them playing on all cylinders. I think that this matchup against Michigan State is going to be great. But
we'll talk actual game then.
Yeah, and I just think that these top 6 seeds, and honestly, Illinois almost too, but they just went cold, which is what I said was going to be their problem. But I just thought we had especially BYU going on one of these runs. So other than that, it is pretty chalky, but I think it makes for good matchups later on. And someone said it's like, you love when St. Peter's upsets a Purdue in a 15-2 seed, but then you hate when it's Kansas versus St. Peter's going to the Final Four. Like,
yeah,
you want the best playing the best, and these awesome matchups when it truly counts is what I think it's all about.
1,000%.
I think to the point too of like, I know when we went through our entire bracket, I think there were so many where we're like, oh, everybody's going to pick this. Stay away from this upset. Stay at least, and I know I did. I think more so than both of you. I know I definitely did more so than Trey. But like McNeese, I'm like, no way. Like that's a trap game. They're not going to win. Okay, Drake. I don't know. That's a trap game. Everybody's going to be on that. And I don't know. I think that was my personal downfall, obviously, especially in those first couple of weeks. But those were the 2 big games that stuck out to me.
Are you saying also, you avoided picking those because you thought they were like too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I got you.
Like too easy of an upset. Like everybody thinks they're going to upset them.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, no way. Because of that. I also, I don't know. Even looking at my own personal bracket too is like picking what I think I had 4 10s over 7s, and Vanderbilt let me down, and Utah State really let me down. I mean, Utah State really let me down.
They looked like they didn't deserve to be there.
No, that was pathetic showing.
Mountain West.
But, so before we get to the next round, a lot of the talk has been the the chalk and like how there's not any Cinderella stories, and a lot of the blame is getting put on NIL and the transfer portal. I don't know if you guys have heard that.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to a degree, though. Like the small schools that there is a stud that sticks out and he goes to a big one, sure. But I think there's just as much as the opposite of the player not getting as much playing time as he wants at a big name school that goes to a North Texas or a UAB and lights it up there. And then he might go back to another big school in another year, but he deserves that, right? Like,
yeah.
So I don't know.
I want to give an example here, and I know this isn't a small like mid-major school, but like I look at it as like the number one recruit that sat there and chose BYU for next year. Like BYU has committed to just putting the absolute bank, just like Phil Knight with Oregon. Like he wants to see an. So it's like BYU got the number one recruit when in reality all the blue bloods were after him. Right?
Mhm.
It came down to them and Carolina, and he freaking chose BYU over Carolina. And it's
$7
like,
million.
why? And he can say whatever he wants to say. It was the $7 million.
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about. I know NIL is a trap. Like we could go in a rabbit hole with this thing, but I don't buy that because I also think some of these schools they can actually maybe get a stud that could get them into the tournament at the very least.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's NIL, but I do think transfer portal a little bit. And there's a graphic that was put out here today. There's one team in the Sweet 16 that all 5 starters started at that school. Any clue as to who that might be?
Yeah, was I sent it to you?
Oh, did you? Somebody else sent it to me too. Oh.
No, it's Purdue.
Purdue has all 5. Duke has 4. Michigan State has 4. And then 2 teams have 3. BYU and Houston.
Yeah.
So kind of interesting just to kind of put that in perspective. It's like, all right.
Do any have none?
Oh boy.
Like are there any that are all transfers or
yeah, I think there is.
Close. There are some schools here that have
one. Yeah.
Yeah, so like if you look at Auburn only has 1.
Yeah.
Probably the same with Arkansas.
Arkansas, actually, yeah, Arkansas only has 1. There is a school in here that I'm pretty sure has 0. Yeah, it's one of these teams. I'm not even sure who it is.
Well, that's the thing.
Arizona?
They didn't label the teams.
Well, you know what? It is Arizona. Has to be.
Yeah, I'm good.
No, wait, hold on.
Look for the UNC.
No, Arizona. Yeah, Arizona is also. So there's 2 teams at least. 2 teams at least that don't have their full team because Arizona has a Carolina guy, an Alabama guy, a Campbell guy, an Oakland guy, and a Tennessee guy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it is pretty crazy that only one of the schools has all 5 homegrown, and then Michigan State and Duke are the only other 2 that have 4. Really, I mean, you don't really even see a whole lot other than BYU having 3. So that's kind of an eye opener. But it's the landscape. Once again, you can sit there and complain about it, but I'm kind of, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, I'm in agreement with Jay Billis. Is these coaches 1 year gone, 1 year gone. Look at DeVries or DeVries, whatever his last name. He left. Yeah. Everyone, McCollum goes to Drake, leaves. Colorado State coach leaves. So it's like if the coaches can do it and chase money and chase the big time, let the players do the same damn thing. They're the ones the reason that you have work. So I have no issue. Once again, I know we can get long-winded in this, but
that DeVries thing is kind of sketchy. I don't know if you guys looked into that.
The what?
Yeah, it started in the Bahamas.
Yeah, and they're saying that they had his son medically registered so he could play next year at Indiana.
1,000% that happened.
That's
1,000%. I just want to get a little bit back on track here. Just most disappointed with Clemson. That was pathetic. And then to me, even though this team's not an up, like they should be there, I guess, based on their seed, Purdue surprised me. I had very low expectations for Purdue. Yeah. And I was surprised that Purdue dominated kind of the way. Well,
I had them losing McNeese so far.
Yeah, and I think they looked how they should have looked. Like those 2 teams had no business being in that gym with them at all.
Michigan surprised any of you guys?
No,
I think they're legit, man. it goes way back before we even did any sort of bracketology episode. I know I called Michigan some frauds there for a while, but I did state having 2 7-footers like that and only having 1 day in between to prepare to deal with 2 7-footers with one that can handle, that is a hard thing to get prepared for.
Yeah.
Like, that's really, really hard because, quite honestly, you don't see that in the game of basketball as much anymore where you have 2 big guys on the court at one time. It's usually 1 big guy and then 4 stretch guys.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I agree.
It's interesting. All right.
Ready?
Yeah. Anything else here? Or I think anything else I might mention from previous games will kind of come out in looking at some of these games. So, all right, let's start up top in the South bracket here. We first have number 1 Auburn and Michigan playing. Auburn, Michigan. Whew. I mean, Trent, to your point about 7-footers right here, and I think Steve had even mentioned it too on the Golden Ticket podcast last night. This does seem like a good slip-up spot for a Bruce Pearl team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, Michigan, and I think it goes back to the fact that Michigan won the Big Ten. I think they got hot when they had to get hot, and they're just riding that wave. I mean, you beat a team in UC San Diego who, again, sorry, but I was hoping they'd pull that off. You beat Texas A&M because Buzz Williams decided to check out at Applebee's at halftime. And now here you are sitting against Auburn, number 1. So
I can't believe the spread is 9.5.
I was going to say that doesn't make sense to me at all.
It doesn't. I feel like that's way too big, guys. Like I agree. I could see it happening. I think Auburn's going to win. I think Auburn's making the run, but I am betting wise, I am Michigan plus 9.5 here in this case. The thing for me between the 2 teams is, yes, I believe Broom's going to have his hands full dealing with 2 7-footers.
Yeah.
I say, who are you going to cover? You're going to cover
Wolf or
Golden or Wolf, because if you got to go out in the perimeter, I think Broom's a liability if you make him come out and defend guys off the dribble. I think he can get in foul trouble. But I look at this matchup, and I think the big difference is in March is guard play, right? We always say it, and Auburn's guards are head and shoulders above Michigan's guards, in my opinion.
So, hey, hold on, pause real quick. Like, do we want to go by bracket here, or do you want to go by game order?
Just go by bracket. No matter. We already started that way.
Yeah, we'll keep rolling how we are.
Okay. All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, Trent, you're on Auburn, but Michigan 9.5.
Yeah, Auburn wins. I like Michigan to cover though, because honest to God, this is what makes me want to almost really say Michigan. Michigan plays in extremely close games.
Yeah.
Like they have that experience. Look at Auburn has they have good games because they play in the SEC. I get that, but Michigan could pull this off. I'd like to see it. I'll tell you what I like. I really want to see in this bracket. You guys probably already know it, but I got Auburn winning, but it's not what I want to see.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, Trent, I agree with everything you said about the 2 7-footers. It's if Broom handles Wolf, he's going to get foul trouble. He can't. I don't think he can hang with him off the dribble. Then you got Golden who can go off too because he's unreal in the tournament. Satan did the same thing when FIU went to the Final Four, but
FIU,
that's what I said, right? Or I say IU.
IU. Florida International.
Yeah, the line doesn't make sense. You're right. I see 8.5 at ESPN, but and that kind of bothers me for some reason. I don't know if it's because Auburn gets hot and kind of separates at the end of games, and that's what they think is going to happen. But I'm taking Michigan +4 first half, plus 4.5 first half at -110. I think they're going to keep it tight most of the game. I might even sprinkle money line because I just don't. I don't know. I just don't see the advantage that Auburn has over Michigan here. I know you said guard play, Trent, but those guards got to play overly exceptional well than Michigan's, I think, to overcome the 7-footers. So, I like Michigan, but it's just a scary line for me. I just don't get it.
Yeah. So hold on. Who'd you say to win, Trey? You said Michigan plus
like
4.5
Michigan.
first half, and you're picking Michigan to win.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that this is where Michigan's run ends. I think Auburn sneaks this one out. That being said, this might be Auburn's last win in the tournament. Because I do think that this game right here is going to battle test them a little bit, and then all of a sudden they're just going to somehow fold. Auburn has the ability to turn on themselves. So when the going does get tough, just ask any pilot out there, all right, that flew around. But yeah, I think Auburn wins this. I agree with both of you guys. I hate the lines. I'm actually going to take the under in this game, and I hate taking unders. But I got 153.5. Oh gosh, no, there's not a single person in the world that says I love unders.
I think they're the most profitable bets,
but they're so not fun to cheer for. So yeah. I'm gonna take under 153.5 in this game, but Auburn wins it. That's my bet.
So. I think Auburn either loses or covers the spread.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that 9.5 is one of those spreads where you're like, oh, stay away from that shit, especially in a Sweet 16 game, like and against a hot Michigan team. Why would you take 9.5? Like,
yeah,
especially. I mean, Auburn, they had a game against. I don't know. All right, let's move to the second one here in the South. You got Ole Miss and Michigan State. Does Sparty do it, Trey?
No. I like Ole Miss, man. Watching them play, they look good. I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna take the full game spread and Ole Miss money line at plus 150. Padula, Trent, he's a great guard. You talked about guard play being important, but honestly, I think Chris Beard just knows how to use his players and like get the best out of them, and they're playing together, I think, really well. I think they're one of the hottest teams in the tournament. And Michigan State didn't. I mean, they played okay, but they didn't handle New Mexico like I thought they should. Spread. I don't know. Izzo is a great coach. I think that's the advantage, or also can counter Chris Beard, but I just don't think he can do it. I don't think he has the guys. And then that stat that comes back about teams that weren't ranked or outside of the top preseason top 25, like that. Just
what is
I
it?
can't
Never made the Final Four, correct?
I don't think they've gotten past the second weekend of covering a spread or something. What was it, Trent?
Never made the Final Four.
Okay. Well, still, yeah, that's even worse. Yeah, I just like Ole Miss in this spot.
Okay. Trent, where's your money at here?
Complete opposite. Give me Michigan State. I think it's the recency bias. The spread is because of recency bias.
But isn't the tournament all about recency bias?
I get that, but it's also a week break now, right? Games ended Sunday. I see what Trey saw, right? They didn't pull away from Brian until about the last 10 minutes, right? Brian hung with them. New Mexico, they were making a little sweaty. But I do believe Michigan is they're better. They're full set of guards, not just one. They're full set of guards with Jace Richardson, with Fears, with Thompson as well. I think all three of those guys are just better. I think their bigs are not any form of dominant big men, scoring big men, but they're really good at getting offensive rebounds and getting the ball back out to those guards. So it's a little bit of to me, I always thought Michigan State was kind of like a grinded out, very similar like old school Wisconsin of years past, right? Big Ten basketball. But both of these teams this year just score. So I got Michigan State covering I'm seeing 3.5. You guys seeing 3.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just taking them to cover 3.5.
I'm a Beard believer, obviously. I'm actually.
Sorry. Go ahead, Tyler.
Well, no, I think that Chris Beard has Ole Miss playing like they've been disrespected, and they have been disrespected the last two games. And I think that team is buying into the disrespect and saying, you know what? You think that we can't be here. You don't think we deserve to be here. I think that they're playing angry. And I think that that's going to be a little bit too much for Michigan State. So I'm taking Ole Miss with the +3.5, and I'm also going to take Ole Miss. I'll probably sprinkle the money line a little bit, but I'm taking Ole Miss to actually win this game. I know I had North Carolina beating them, but might have been just my heart talking. But yeah, I'm going Ole Miss here.
How would you like to do a beer bet on the spread?
Sure, we'll do it.
All right, 3.5.
I like it. Yep, okay. I like it.
Okay. Can Tyler get in?
You want to double? Yeah,
yeah. I'm in.
Yeah, I'll take it. 3.5. I'll take it.
All right, Tyler.
Okay. It's as if Trey doesn't trust me or something. Like, what an asshole.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm on the opposite side, so that's why he's with you on the.
These are both Friday games, right?
No. Yeah. Those are both Friday. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. Let's jump down to the West here. So West, are we doing Elite Eight or no?
No, we're just doing Sweet 16 picks.
Just this round.
Okay. All right. Elite Eight here. We got Florida, Maryland. Here. I think that UConn was the only team left in this bracket that could have beat Florida. So I think Florida rolls over Maryland and beats them by double digits. Sorry, Matt.
Bingo. I echo everything Tyler says. I don't even need to give him my take.
Man.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you think they cover the 6.5?
Yeah.
Yes. Easily.
I think people are going to be all on Maryland.
Yeah, they are.
Especially the public.
Yeah.
I think the public will be on Maryland. Hope they are.
I don't know. I think Florida wins. I think it's going to be more exciting of a game than we think. If I'm going to bet on this, if I'm betting spread, I'm taking Maryland +6.5 because I think it's going to be closer than we think. I don't believe in a blowout, but I like a lot of points to be scored here. So I like the over on the total of 156.5. And that is a steep over for me normally. I really struggle to bet overs and unders just on basketball. I'm much more of a spreads guy or team totals guy. But I think a lot of points to be scored here. Because if it is a blowout, like you guys are saying, I think it's going to be like 90-something to 80-something.
That's the case. My next point here, Trent, to your point about total points or team totals, is my bet out of here is I'm taking Florida's team total over 81.5.
Yeah, I'm still a firm believer if you can cut the head off of Florida, which is Clayton. I think I just think they're done after him.
I mean, they're lucky that it didn't come down to free throw shooting at the end, because Condon could not hit a free throw to save his life. All right. And he's the one that kept ending up with the ball, which I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, get somebody out. Like, let's do an offense-defense sub here so that way, like, we have an opportunity, because he kept getting fouled and he's making 1-2, 0-2. Like, that's literally the reason that Florida only won by 2 points.
Yeah. I see what you're saying now. They could probably – their head coach is pretty excited about Sweet 16s.
Wow.
What? That's the only way to get to a Final Four is you got to go.
Absurd. All right.
Allegedly.
So, Florida, Trent, are you on Florida, though? Winning?
Florida winning. Yeah, Florida winning. I think Maryland's going to keep it closer than you guys. I think it's another scare. I think Florida's the team. It's kind of weird. Once again, Florida's the team that I know a lot of money, and I know the odds are in favor of like the Dukes and the Auburns, but Florida's the team that everybody is so high on.
But it's been the chalkiest bracket ever. So why not stay high on them?
Too, Trent. I think everyone's on Duke.
I think after this weekend,
yes. But prior to it, no, because there's too many questions about Cooper.
Yeah.
everything was questioned about. Oh, can Cooper Flag play? Can Cooper Flag play? Which,
It's
he's playing. He's playing. Yeah, I'm not angry about that.
Stop being so mad about it.
I'm not mad at all.
You do sound pretty upset. Sorry.
Pissed off.
Not at all. Not at all.
All right. Let's move to the other game here. We got Texas Tech and Arkansas. Did not expect Arkansas to be here. A little frustrated. St. John's inability to shoot caught up to him.
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah, they really just couldn't close it. I mean, I go back to the fact that I didn't think Arkansas was even going to be in the bracket, so I'm just frustrated.
God, that was hard to watch. How bad the shooting was from St. John's. They just could not make anything, and they weren't even like close.
Anything? No.
Like it wasn't like they were just they're not falling. It was like, man, these are awful shots. Like
yeah.
Makes you just wonder how
they'll be okay.
Who? St. John's?
Yeah.
In the long run, you mean?
Yeah. Next year they'll be fine.
Yeah,
they're gonna be back.
They're
gonna be back and better next year.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't stand Calipari being the Cinderella squad left in the tournament. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. So what's the pick here? Because shit.
I like. You guys are gonna hate it. I like Arkansas. I think Arkansas has the getting. We were worried. We were worried about Boogie Flan coming back and disrupting John L. Davis, but I think they've been an incredible duo, kind of similar to the John L. Davis and the guy who's now playing for Florida. Right when they were on the FAU run, like those two guards together are dangerous. And now there's a very real possibility of Firo, their leading scorer.
Yeah,
him possibly playing a couple of minutes in this game. Like, I just think that once again, I look at Texas Tech, and I know that a different guy went off than their last game, but that was kind of like a, once every, and it was Drake. No offense to Drake, they're a really good team, but like it was Drake, and I just think if you can contain transfer from Toppin. Yeah, I don't know. Is it JT? I thought that was the Dayton guy, but
no, that's Obi.
Oh, okay. If you can contain and Calipari does have the length and athleticism of bodies to throw at him, so I got Arkansas in this one to win.
It's kind of my assessment. I think it's a toss-up game. The way Arkansas is playing, Trent said they're getting, as you said, they're getting their good player, or they got a good player back, possibly getting an even better player. I think Texas Tech's kind of a one-man show. I like 5.5 points. That's what I'll be betting on. So,
yeah, me too.
Yeah, woo Sue, woo pig suey, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Double digit seed.
I think Arkansas wins. I'm taking Arkansas's points on this, though. This is one of those games where my heart's telling me to pick Texas Tech. So I'm going to say no, heart. So I'm going to go to my head and go with the smart pick. And I do think Arkansas does it.
All right.
I just don't think Texas Tech can close it out. All right. Jumping up to the east. Duke and Arizona. How about those Blue Devils? Right now, seeing spread is at 9.5. Yeah.
I got Duke covering.
Okay.
What's that?
Oh.
Duke covers.
I second that. Duke covers. Duke wins.
Yeah. I think 9.5 is a lot, though.
Yeah, agreed.
But they keep it close early, and then in the second half, they blow them out by 25.
Yeah. I like
that's exactly how this game is going to go.
I like the over 153.5.
I looked at that too.
Yeah.
Interesting. What, though, I've been getting bit in the ass by these freaking hooks. So
do you guys think that, like, right now Duke is kind of doing what UConn did to teams last year? Do you think that continues? And this is just like a waxing?
You guys both said that about Florida, and I said
Yeah.
I said I actually see Duke potentially doing that this year
Mm-hmm.
because Duke's good. I mean, yeah, I'm a diehard fan. Don't get me wrong. You could say, "Oh, I'm biased" or whatnot. You know, I would not normally say that about one of my teams. I'm a firm believer of reverse jinxes and whatnot, but I do think Duke. I mean, it's March. It's a 1-game series instead of a 7, so a team can beat a better team at any point in time. But I do believe Duke does have the talent to do that to some of these teams in front of them. I will be honest with you. It sounds crazy. Like you usually cheer for like the worser teams to win. Now I was hoping Oregon won.
Worser.
Yeah, whatever the word is, worse teams, worse team, more worse, double negative. But there is a matchup that I freaking want so bad, and that is Duke versus Alabama because I hate Nate Oates. He's a shit talker, and that guy hasn't fucking won shit. Too many teeth in his mouth, talking shit kind of guy. So bring it the fuck on. I want to shit on them if they make it past BYU. Sorry.
All right. Let's jump down to that game then. So we got BYU and Bama.
Trent alluded to it. I mean, Bama's, I don't know. I just don't trust them. I don't think they're that good. I don't think it's because of Nate Oates necessarily, but they played a really, really bad St. Mary's team last game. And they went, I think, a combined 1 for 40 for 3 that game. It was something insane. Like they made 1-3 and it was late in the game. Besides that, they played Robert Morris and only won by 9 points. So I don't know. Alabama was a team I was big on before the tournament, but watching them in their conference tournament and now how they played the first weekend, I don't trust them. And I think it's the complete opposite with BYU. They look hot. They're playing well. They look like a cohesive unit. So I like them getting points. I do like them to win as well, but I'm definitely going to bet them getting 5.5.
BYU getting 5.5.
Yeah.
Man.
Up, Trent.
I agree. I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine with seeing Alabama winning the game just because, like I said, if Duke happens to pull it off and they play against Bama, I love that. But I'm kind of just laughing at looking at the total.
I know, dude.
175.5, right?
And
like,
can I tell you something that's funny?
You're gonna take it.
I was thinking about taking it.
I'm gonna too. I think you got to. It's that high for a reason.
See, like,
it could be 190 points.
Yeah, but I think it's that high because of how streaky both these teams can be. Like
but
both
can also
teams can just go unconscious, but both teams could also. It takes that one team just not like. Just think, guys. That means it has to be what, like 90 to 80 something. Like you can get a 70 something to 70 something thing, and it's still not going to hit. Like
it'd be 90 to 86.
Yeah, like that's a lot of points. But
yeah,
I like BYU in this case, man. I have them in my bracket all the way to the Elite Eight.
So you're picking BYU.
Yeah, I do believe BYU does this year.
All right. I'm kind of taking a little bit of a different angle on this because my weekend bracket was not the greatest. So I'm just gonna say Alabama wins. I don't know that they cover 5.5, but I'm going Alabama. I want BYU. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but I'm going Alabama. I think they'll squeak it out. I don't think they cover 5.5. I think BYU does cover. BYU probably covers by the hook. That seems to be the trend. All right, let's move down to our last region here. We got the Midwest. First game up, we got Houston and Purdue. Purdue. I mean, my opinion, don't overthink it.
Yeah.
It's Cougs.
I'm overthinking it.
Yeah, don't
overthink it. It's Cougs 8.5 too.
It's huge.
I straight at 7.5 right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take that in a heartbeat.
You would take 7.5 in a heartbeat?
Yep.
Listen, guys, I got that.
It?
No, because I'm sitting over here with a week away expiring free bet from FanDuel for hitting the dog of the week. So it's like a $55 bet here. So that's like big bucks. And I'm just trying to get. Whew. Thank you, Ole Miss.
Jeez, Trent, that's tough. I'm
taking it all in. I have some confident picks.
Can I be honest with you? Do not bet on this spread of this game. Do not bet that $55 on the spread of this game.
I don't want to get off that. I was thinking about placing on I was gonna place it on Michigan plus 9.5.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's so fishy though.
All right, it's so free. I'm on the Cougars. Trey, you're on the Cougars.
8-game parlay. Let's go. No.
I'm putting mine together right now as we speak.
I'm talking about the $55 bet.
Gotta be like, all right, well, Trump's retiring.
Yeah, gotta go up a tax bracket now. But yeah, I think Houston wins this.
All right. Last game.
They cover Trent.
Yeah, I mean, I bet on Houston so many times this year as a recipe pick, and they're covered machines.
Okay. It's so weird to me because, correct me if I'm wrong, Houston of a couple of years ago used to be scoring machines, and if you look at Purdue and Houston, the over right now is 132.5, and the under is favored. I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like it's hard for me to wrap my head around it because I'm so used to Houston being like
unreal
90 points.
Purdue can score normally, but that's 100% basing on Houston just completely shutting down Purdue.
Yeah. All right, last game. Third time this year. Mark Pope's Kentucky versus Rick Barnes Volunteers.
What a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one.
When is this? Friday? Oh, 7:30. Oh, goodness.
That's prime time, cold one time.
It is. Give me
a couple cold ones deep already.
I believe the Wildcats have swept them this year, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I think they continue that trend. I got Kentucky winning, and I've got Kentucky covering the 4.5.
Yeah. Yep.
This to me is kind of similar to the Texas Tech Arkansas game. I think it's a toss-up kind of. So to me, I just like whoever's getting the points, and that's Kentucky plus 4.5.
Yeah, I'm on Kentucky 4.5 as well. I know 3 times is tough, but it does go back to Bruce Pearl has those hiccups. Rick Barnes has those hiccups. What's his name out of Purdue has those hiccups. Like, yeah, there's just certain coaches that I just don't trust to overcome, and this is a huge ass game, and I don't think that Tennessee is up for the task. So I'm going to go with Kentucky to win this one. And I'll tell you what, a Houston Kentucky matchup in the Elite Eight, man, that'd be a good matchup, man. I think I'd like that matchup maybe more so than Houston Tennessee, because I think Houston would crush Tennessee. But I think Kentucky can give them a game.
Talk about a defensive battle there.
I was say that'd be a slugfest, Tennessee and Houston.
Yeah, might be,
but it would be potentially really boring too.
That's kind of what I'm saying. Like, all right. Anything else?
You
want to give your final four just because that's what's gonna happen, or no?
Yeah, I mean
the end of the weekend. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Trey.
Okay, Trey.
So I like Michigan and Ole Miss going at it, and
just tell Final Four.
All right, I'm gonna go Ole Miss.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Florida.
Okay.
Houston and Duke.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Sorry, Trent, I just completely skipped you, but mine's very similar to Trey's, which is why I'm actually going Ole Miss as well, Trey.
Wow.
I know I had Michigan State in my bracket, but the way that Chris Beard's got the boys playing, sorry, I didn't mean to bore you, Trent. Ole Miss. I got Ole Miss, Florida. Just kind of to be a little bit different, Trey. I'm going to say Kentucky.
Okay.
I'm going to say Ole Miss, Florida, Kentucky, and Duke. That's my final four.
I didn't say anything about my on Trent.
Yeah. Michigan State, Florida, Kentucky, Duke.
Okay. Right.
Trent,
So we're all a little bit different.
Are you drawing on a drive-by right now? Your chalk?
Chalky.
Michigan State and Kentucky.
Yeah,
I didn't. Okay, shit.
Yeah, so eat a bag of dicks. Yeah.
Hey guys, by the way, Occam's razor, I was completely wrong. It's the simplest, most elegant explanation is usually the one that's true.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was thinking like double-edged sword, catch 22.
Oh my god, I'm confused as shit right now what you're talking about. But
when Tyler,
I know that.
Duke,
I still don't even know what
like,
an Occam razor is. But
I just told you.
Okay.
It's the simplest explanation is usually the one that's true.
All
right.
Well,
anything else, bracket? Are we ready to take me out to the ball game real quick?
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. So listen, before I know you, Trey, you had mentioned some things. I just want to quickly just touch on a little segment I might throw in here called "How about a K prop?" All right. So it's patented. Just wait till the video comes out. It's gonna be me going like this. How about a K prop?
That's creepy.
No,
it's creepy as hell.
Oh, I have the perfect picture for it.
That's fine. All right. So real quick. All right, I'm gonna run through these. So looking at K props now, obviously, listen, there's a lot. It's opening day. All right, there's a lot to go into baseball. I always have a set number of pitchers that I do look at for K props. Anybody that's followed us at all last year with baseball, that's literally the bet that I make each day. That's my bread and butter. I believe I was right around 50% last year hitting on K props. So I did start to keep track last year. But so here's what we're looking at. I got a boatload of overs tomorrow, which made me a little bit nervous because I'm going through my pitches and I'm like, oh yeah, over. But I don't know. Just thinking about opening day and how things could go.
Pitchers usually do well.
Right. And I think
they might not be pitching long. That's the only thing.
Yeah, but I think some of the pitch, I think you'll be all right. So we're going to start with my guy. Been my guy for about 3 years now in K-Props. I'm going with Framber Valdez. Framber Valdez is starting against the Mets tomorrow. Framber 2 years ago was a big under guy. They usually capped him at 5.5. But last year, about a quarter of the way through the season, he started to become a big over guy. Throwing 7, throwing 8, throwing 9Ks some games. So they are capping him tomorrow at over 5.5. I'm taking it over for minus 140 against the Mets. Next one, everybody's favorite pitcher here, Livy Dunn's fiance, Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens is being capped at 6.5 Ks tomorrow. The Pirates are away at the Marlins.
Wow.
I'm taking over 6.5. Now it's not a lot of good juice. It's minus 160. But still, the fact that you're actually going to cap Skeens at 6.5, take it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Another pitcher. This is the Brewers. Freddie Peralta. Freddie Peralta against the Yankees. They're away. Peralta is 5.5 being capped at. I am taking over 5.5 against the Yankees, minus 160. Yankees do have some guys on their team that do like to strike out. Moving right along here, another guy, Hunter Green from the Reds. Hunter Green's being capped at 6.5 Ks. Right now, it's more favorable, meaning less money, to take the under 6.5. Hunter Green's going to get 7 Ks tomorrow against the Giants at home. So I'm taking over 6.5, minus 105. And the last one I got here is Tariq Skubal. Skubal, this is kind of one where you get some bang for your buck if this hits here. But Skubal's pitching against the Dodgers tomorrow in LA. I'm taking over 6.5 for Skubal for plus 110. So that's kind of my wild card pick there. But only other bet I have going tomorrow, I got a first 5 bet on our Orioles. First 5 plus a half a run minus 145. So
Okay.
Tied.
We got the Blue Jays, right?
Yeah.
Yep. We got Eflin on the bump for the O's. And we've got Barrios on the bump for Barrios.
That was
don't you correct me on names. Don't even Quinnipiac.
That's right.
Quinnipiac.
Barrios is another guy that I usually bet on, but I never bet on the pitcher against the Orioles. So it's just a thing I have.
It's a faux pas.
Did it a couple times last year, and I always lost. So I'm like, well, here's a rule. So those are my baseball bets tomorrow. Again, K props for days, and obviously had to throw an Oriole bet out there.
Tell you what's not good is Gunnar going on the IL.
He'll be back in the 8 days or whatever it is minimum.
Who's starting at is Jackson starting at short? Or is it Westberg?
I think it'll be Jackson. I think Jackson
at short.
But don't forget we also have what's his name is back, Speed Demon.
Jorge Mateo.
Yeah, Mateo. He's back too.
One other thing I did forget to mention here. Popular betting thing. Right, this is BR betting on X. Tyler O'Neill has hit a home run in 5 straight opening days.
I saw that.
Currently the most bet on pitcher. I think it's plus 330 to hit a home run tomorrow. On
pitcher.
What?
Pitcher. You said
player.
Player.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I already have placed my wager on him to hit a homer with two pretty good specials out there. FanDuel, as long as you opt in, you'll get a 25% boost on any player to hit a home run. And if your player hits a home run, you win a share of $500,000 in free bets. And then DraftKings is a no sweat. So you might as well bet a unit on somebody at a home run. You could have a hell of an opening day. If not, don't sweat it. You literally will get your butt back. So,
all right, Trey, what'd you say you want to do? World Series MVPs quick?
Yeah.
All right,
or even just World Series MVPs might be a little tough.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Let's do World Series picks. Do you want to pick the teams and then your winner?
Let's do AL and then NL and then AL winner, NL winner, and then I guess World Series champ. Is that what you're going to do?
Is that what I just said?
I guess I just had to repeat it. All right. From the NL, I mean, do you guys mind if I start?
No, go ahead.
I think the NL is a pretty obvious one. It's a team that's kind of ruining baseball, in my opinion, with their obnoxious roster. That's the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
AL is kind of tough. Part of me wants to say the Orioles. My head wants to say the Yankees, but I don't know if they're going to be healthy enough. So I'm going to go with the Kansas City Royals.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. I like their squad. They got a nice pitcher in Cole Ragans. Bobby Witt Jr. is an up-and-coming superstar. Vinny DiPasquano is the next Pete Alonso. So,
okay.
Seth Lugo pitched well last year for him. Yeah, I just like him. So, a little bit of a sleeper.
I'll keep mine short and sweet here. I am going AL. I'm going O's.
Wow.
All right, I'm doing it. But listen, hey, I think they can do it. I think as long as people stay healthy and pitching's all right. I'm going O's out of the AL. Shout out to Mike Noblin. I'm going Braves out of the NL. So I think the Braves can come out of the NL. Trey, did you pick your winner?
Dodgers.
Hold on, Trey. You got a little chalk dust right on your forehead.
Dude, yeah, give me the O's, man. There's too much excitement right now around that team. They got new food menus, dude. Like let's go. It's Orioles. It's the year.
New
Give it
food
to me.
menus. Give it to
Dude, hell yeah. Give me it all day.
You know
that
why?
crab hot dog again. What?
You hear what's on the menus?
Yeah, I did. They also have
Old day riblets.
Yeah, man.
You're
No, I'm just
tired.
kidding.
Ooh,
Gotta
Tyler's sweating. He is sweating right now.
All right, Trent, tell us your World Series, who's winning, and we'll get out of here.
Ready? This one would cause some controversy in a couple of our households. I got Phillies NL, Orioles AL. Orioles break through, make a big move at the deadline to get a stud pitcher. Who? Not sure.
Who?
Hope they make a move on Trevor Bauer early and often. Not
And
sure
Shane
why
Bieber.
often. And I just if he's healthy, but I got Orioles. Their bullpen is back. Our offense is going to click. We've got the majority of our young studs we've been waiting on. They've gotten their big league experience for the most part. Don't get me wrong. We still got some really young talent that have yet to make their big league debut. But yeah, I'm going Orioles offense is going to be fire. I believe the left field porch has moved in. Correct, boys?
I think so.
Yep, left field porch. Yep, they moved it back in. That's great news. Great news for a right-handed batting when he's batting right-handed. Adley Rutschman.
Tyler O'Neill. Oh.
Hey, let's do this a while.
And Tyler O'Neill. You're right.
Orioles season wins 87.5.
Oh, torching that.
Minus 120.
Oh, I was hoping for some positive odds.
I know. I'm sorry. Yes,
No,
yeah. But I mean, under
DraftKings?
87, under 87.5 is plus 100. So minus 120 is not horrible.
All right.
All right. Last thing here, and then we're gonna get out of here. Dak Prescott's going to the Browns. Shador Sanders is going to the Cowboys. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, what the hell?
That's it.
I thought you were breaking the news. I was like, what the fuck?
I was too.
No, we'll see. We'll get
Just
throwing it out there. I had to get it as a clip. But. All right. Other than that, anything else, boys?
Nah. Happy opening day.
Heck yeah. Take me out to the ball game. Enjoy your day of baseball. And hey, tonight, enjoy the Sweet 16.
Take it easy.
All right.
See you guys.
See you guys.